Hi guys, welcome back to Cozy Cottage Cross Stitch. My name's Donna. Today I wanted to come on and share with you, this is a video really for beginners. I wanted to share with you how to start your counted cross stitch. Now, a counted cross stitch is done on a plain fabric, so it'll be like that. Okay, you've got your fabric and then you create your pattern on it. Now, this might be quite scary for some people, because if you're used to doing a printed cross stitch, you'll already have all your symbols and your colours on there to follow. With this you won't. That is what you get, a plain canvas, and you have to count your squares and begin to start stitching following the pattern. So there are a number of ways to do this, and as I will state right now, again, I am not a professional, but this is some tricks that I've picked up and this is how I prefer to do it. Now, the two different ways to do this, okay, let me just show you an example. This is the pattern that I wanted to do. I love everything kind of witchy poo, and so this apothecary was quite nice for me. It says spells, potions, elixirs. I just fell in love with it when I saw it and I thought, yeah, I need to do that. If you're interested in this, this is where I got it from. They're on Etsy. They also have their own site where they sell kits and other bits and pieces, but if you go to the Etsy one with this, they sell patterns on their own. So this is the one that I picked out that I wanted to do. So that's the first page that prints out. It just shows you your pattern and how you can frame it, etc. So this is kind of what you'll get. This is the first page. Ignore the red lines on there, I'll explain that one in a minute. Okay, so that's your pattern there, and then you go up sizes, so it breaks it down into 4 sections. Okay, so that would be the bottom of that one. Okay, and then you've got your other 2 for the other side, and then that obviously would continue on that side. Okay, so what I wanted to show you was, when you get one like this, okay, the red lines are on there because I started this video once and my camera decided to cut out halfway through. So what I wanted to explain to you, when you get your pattern like this, now I don't know if you can see, right at the very bottom here there is a tiny little arrow, okay, which marks the center of your pattern. There's one at the top and there's one on either side. So using a ruler, all I do is follow the lines across, so you can mark off the center across that way, and then mark off the center that way, and that is your middle square right there. Now this method, I would say, is easier if you had a pattern that had lots of plain around the outside and it was just a picture that was centered in the middle. Just say for instance like a flower, so you'd have your flower here, okay, and then you've got lots of white cloth around it. This method would be easier to do that with. Okay, so what you would do in this case is you would get your piece of fabric, okay, then what you're going to do is fold it in half. This is just a scrap piece that I just cut off so I could show you. Cut it in half, increase the seam now, okay, and then fold it in the opposite direction in half again, and press firmly across there. So it's not very clear to the eye, but now you can see that there's been across that way and also one that way, so it kind of marks out where your center square would be for you. Let's just get a pencil and show you. So my line comes down here, okay, and it's going across there as well. So my center square for this would be that one right there. Okay, if you can see that clearly. So there's my line going down, there's my line going across, so that would make that square there, that's my center, okay, and that's where I would start my pattern. So what you would do from this point is so let me find this one. Sorry, I'm trying to work with a tripod in front of me, it's not easy. So there's the center square on there. So what I would normally do is decide where you was going to start, what would be your first quarter to start, okay. So I normally start with this piece here, so then I would work from my middle center, okay, and I would count across 2 squares and then start working from here, okay. So then you have to do 3 that way, then 3 above it, then another 3, another 3, etc., and carry on like that, okay. And then once you've completed that section, then you go on to the other section and complete that bit. And by doing that, you always know where your center was, and you're going to come back to that once you've completed one section. Okay, so let's just show you very quickly. I've just got a tiny little piece of thread here, so I just wanted to show you, okay. So as I said, that is my middle square there, okay. So if I look at this pattern, I need to miss 2 squares and then start stitching, okay. So we would miss 1, 2, and then start stitching. 1, 2, and then we're going to start stitching in there. Like so, okay, and then it just continues. You've got to go 3 that way, and then there's 3 above it, and then there's another 3, and you would continue like that, okay, until you've done that little square section there following the pattern. But you do need to count your squares, okay, that's how you follow your pattern. So that's that way. So there is another way you can do it. You can buy a piece of Aida that already has squares marked off on it and they wash out, okay. So, or you can mark it yourself, but you would need not a pencil like I've got, this is only to explain to you. You would need a washable pen, one that comes off when you've finished, okay. And what you would do for that is you would start counting your squares and marking them. So you'd count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then that there would be my first mark, okay. Then again you would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so that there would be my second line, like so, okay. And then you'd mark them off all the way down, and then you turn it round, and then you start counting again. 10 across, put a mark, 10 across, top our mark and finish the lines all the way down. Then you will have something like this. Okay, this may be easier for people that are just beginning to do counted cross stitch. I don't do this myself. I use the other method of finding the center and working from there. So this one, what you would do with this, let's bring this back in. Actually, let's bring a bigger part back in so you can see it better. So what you've got on here, as you can see, camera focuses, there you go. What you've got here is you've got your squares, okay? So that's square 1, and you've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, okay? And that's how you go across. And then you down as well, as you can see, you've got 5, 10, 15, 20 on there. So theoretically what you would do is you would count down, so you've got your 10 squares there, okay? So you would know that you need to come down 8 squares, okay, and then start your stitch, or you would need to go 3 in and start your stitch, okay? So taking a needle, so what you would need to do on here, and it is advisable, don't start with the right at the edge, because if this starts to fray, you're not gonna have your stitches left on the edge. I always come in, make sure my canvas is big enough, but I always leave myself a gap, normally by 10 squares round either side. So I would make this my first square to start with, okay? So it's saying I need to come down by 8 squares, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I need to go in 3, 1, 2, 3. So this full square right here, that will be where my first stitch would be. If I can get that now. Hope you can see this okay. So that would be where your first stitch would be, okay? Now I'm just doing this very quickly, very roughly, just to show you guys that this is where it would be, okay? So that there is where your first stitch would be, and that will be the same. If you look on here, I'll put it up there a bit more so you can see better. Still can't see very well. That's better. So if you can see, this first stitch on here would be your first one right here in this corner, okay? So then it's your decision if you want to follow it that way or if you want to follow it downwards, okay? It just depends on how you want to start. So personally, I've started with my stitches all going in that direction, okay? So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down I need to do on that section, okay? So we would just work, that's my first one. So we would work, so we've done 1, that's 2, 3, 4. Oh, wrong one. 5, 6. So I would personally work like that. Okay, just sorry, a bit knotted up on the back there, because I'm only quickly showing you guys. Okay, so I've done my 6 down, and then I would just come back up that way. As you can see, I won't go on and on and on with this, but so that line there now will be your first line right here. Okay, so that's what I wanted to explain to you, just how to begin your project, because there is 2 different ways. So I just wanted to come on quick and help you with that, guys, because I know it can be quite intimidating when you first pick up your first county cross stitch and you look at it and think, oh my god, where do I start? Don't be scared of it. Just remember, if you have a pattern like this one, for instance, you can start up in the corner here, okay, and then it's easier for you to follow. Maybe do your border first and get all that done out of the way with. Okay, so start in your first corner, or where's it? Where's the other one I just had? Oh, is it under here? Probably. Or like this. If you prefer, as I said, if you've got something that's central in the as your pattern, then start like that with your cross in the middle, find your center stitch and then count from there, and that would be your easiest way to do that one. Okay, so I hope that helps you guys. As I said, I'm not a professional, so you know, it's all trial and error over the years. I've been doing this since I was a kid, so, but I still wouldn't say I was professional at it. There's a lot of stuff that I don't know. I prefer to work on 11, 14, 16. Anything smaller than that, it's a lot harder to see. So just bear that in mind when you're buying your canvas to sorry, excuse me, when you first starting out, try to get something that's bigger on the squares so you can see it easier. So I would stick with like an 11 or a 14, something like that, and that's your count on your Aida. Okay, so I hope that helps you guys, and that's it for now. I'll leave you with that. Have fun. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask, and love to you all, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.